All right, guys. Let's as always, we'll go over broad market, we'll go over some top ideas and any member ideas that you guys have. So again, in the big picture, I tried to highlight that we are out of this breakdown stage. We're in this more obvious base with this very clear resistance at 420. And every time we've gone up here over the last 6 months or so, we've been met with resistance just when everything looks the most perfect. And we kind of saw it last week, ran to 420, saw lose some momentum. We started to kind of pull back into this trend line, or if you want to draw a somewhat steeper one, into this trend line. So for now, as we're trading in this new base, we want to be taking profits into resistance, looking to buy up off of support, and just letting the market kind of reset. We've had this amazing month, and we've seen these runs in the past, and they just need some time to reset. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of the action looks very healthy overall. Most of the sectors are pretty much, as you can see, might be difficult to see my screen here, but on this watch list, I have the sectors kind of broken down from the strong sectors that are setting up, some type of flag or some type of retest, and then the weak sectors. And you can see there's none that are really strong that are continuing the uptrend they've been in from last week. Most have pretty much all pulled back and are just in some type of setup. They were either retesting the prior breakout, they ran into resistance or the upper end of their bases that they were trading within, and they're pulling back. So everything is just kind of resetting and setting up for that potential next move higher. But nothing looks very bleak. Nothing, again, utilities selling off is a good sign. When utilities are breaking out, that's typically people are fearful. When utilities are breaking down, people are typically more looking to put risk on than being risk averse. So good sign to see utilities being one of the weaker sectors. Again, healthcare for the last few weeks has just been very weak, as its overall bear flag has just been kind of pushing lower. And, staples, same thing, kind of putting in those lower lows and lower highs. So nothing dramatic on the weekend. On the weak side, just seems like most sectors are kind of just consolidating or, resetting after the major move it's been on. Moving on to some individual names. On Friday, I got into this TRGP. Closed very nice, just keeping a prior low day stop for now. We'll see how it opens today. The initial target for this is going to be this kind of 80 retest area. If it is going to continue this breakout, if we don't get much follow through today, probably up that to low a day or probably closer to break even. A couple orders I have in. We'll be trying this monster again through this 104. Earnings are not until March, so we have more than 2 weeks if this is going to have any little kind of pre-earnings run. GLNG, little flag up through this 24 area. This little kind of area has been basing in this area, so keep an eye on that. It's LW, one of the pre-market Monday member ideas. I'm not sure who called it out, but again, very tight up here through 100. Earnings aren't until April, so plenty of time here. Very tight risk, risking 2% here. And ALNY and TGX still kind of setting up. Not much going on there. Scanning this morning, this AMLX, we see the support buyback setting up here at $1.50 risk. About $2 risk. Buying up to $34.50 versus this $32.50. Looking to trade that into, $38.40. QSR again looks phenomenal, but earnings are in tomorrow. So that's probably why its name looks so tight. If they take this away from us, it is what it is, but we can keep it on the radar for an opening range breakout tomorrow. And again, this can be short. I personally will not take it. I don't use margin, so I don't short anything, but this is as much of a textbook bear flag as one could expect. We saw the first breakdown here. We're seeing the second one form here. You'd be shorting down through it's 128, risking less than $2 in the name. Just a short setup that I saw out there. And that's really it on my end. So Heaven, I'll pass it over to you. Any member ideas or ideas you want to go over?
For sure. Yeah, Abby's got a few here. The first one she's looking at is Cintas, CTAS. Looking to buy this one through 445.
Earnings aren't until quite some time from now. Yeah, it looks good. 445, this 450 area. Kind of both spots seem to be somewhat significant. You also have this 460 area. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, you definitely see these higher lows lately, which is a good
Mhm.
sign. Name gets smoked here. It looks pretty horrible. Versus pretty strongly. Starts to hold 430. So it's good to see that higher pivot low. And then it's just, if you're going to buy through 445, you're probably going to give it about $10. And you could, that risk reward makes some sense for that move back to 470 and hopefully
Yeah,
higher.
yeah, I'm with you there. The other one she's looking at is Boeing BA through 216. Just break this flag that we've got going on. Looks pretty solid.
Yeah, there was one of the newer members actually mentioned shot me this chart. And we really haven't traded Boeing in I can't remember the last time we've traded Boeing, but does look good here.
Pre-pandemic, yeah.
Yeah. Um, does look very good. Very tight risk here. Buying 216 versus 210, 2% or so. Not that bad. And you'll probably get that move to this 430. That seems to be probably the first area resistance thing is going to kind of run into. So definitely
230, yeah.
makes some
Yeah,
sense.
definitely has a lot of overhead resistance, so that's why keep your expectations low. I mean, it could have a great move, but you got to remember, I mean, this thing is still below,
Mhm.
that move from COVID, pre-COVID. So that's always kind of warning shots for me personally.
Mhm.
The
Definitely
next
agree.
one, yeah, next one she's looking at is CAH, which I believe is also on the shakedown. Looking to buy this one through 81.
Yeah, so just like we saw the KMB with the bear flag after bear flag, the CAH, we're seeing bull flag after bull flag. So great signs to see. And, this is blue skies. Oh no, but
Nope.
not blue skies, but still looks very good. Probably get that
Yeah.
in, that run up to back up to 90 would be probably
Hmm.
the break of this flag.
Yeah. Yeah. Next one is CHD through 84.
Much more lower beta name. I would just be a little cautious. This is a consumer staple. Consumer staples have been a little weak lately, just sector wise. So just, this is a nice base here, but just don't expect fireworks to go off. This is, they're selling household cleaning products, so they're not going to be the craziest breakout, but nonetheless, definitely see that 84 versus 82.
Hmm.
Definitely see the setup there.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, it is sort of downtrending. Like if you look at a weekly chart, it's a lot cleaner and you can kind of see just lower highs and lower lows forming. So, I mean, I really want to see that trend change first. I think that this could really use a little bit more basing,
Mm-hmm.
more of like a stage one base, maybe even retest that 70 and prove that that's really the lows so
Mm-hmm.
that kind of this channel doesn't continue down. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think in time, this looks pretty solid. I don't know if I'd buy it right now though. Still below the 200-day moving average, all those little things. So if it could get back above there and really show me that the trend is changing, I'd be more interested. Like you said, low beta name. So
Mm-hmm.
not expecting much out of this one. The next one, PM Philip Morris cigarettes. Looking to buy this one through 102.50. I'd probably just keep it simple and look to buy through 105. I don't see too much of an entry at
Yeah. I mean, 102.50 is just
102.50.
kind of just Fridays. What was the
Yeah,
high?
through Friday's
Yeah, it's
highs, I
just through
guess. Yeah.
Fridays high. I mean, I guess if it's, yeah, no.
It
I
was a
see.
nice hammer on Friday. Like I see the hammer, but because of like the candle just before that had a rejection from the top, it just kind of it's a little it seems a bit indecisive right now.
Yeah. For this, it's just wait for 105. It seems to be like, it clearly seems to be that this 105 is the spot that either sellers have been holding it down or when it's going to break out, it's going to go. But you can see each time it has broken out lately, each move has gotten smaller and smaller. So it has this bigger break, smaller break, tiny, tiny break. So
Yeah.
maybe it's not the best. You kind of want to see the opposite of that. You'd want to see, like, for those sneaky buybacks, it's like you get this break and then this one, it takes it higher. And that's like that sneaky buyback move that we often talk about. But seeing these smaller breakouts each time kind of seems like the buyers are losing their excitement for
Momentum. Yeah.
old school cigarettes.
Yeah. Next one is LW, which I believe is also on the shakedown.
Mhm.
Waiting for a move through 100. Yep, already have it set up.
That buy stop is in there, my friend. So
Yep,
I'll be in
ready to
there.
go. Yep. Let's see what else we got in here. A couple other people are looking at CTAS. Um, I'm looking at this ASO, which it looks like it's actually gapping down this morning, so it might not be the move, but we were originally looking at the ASO on the break of that trend line that you have right there.
Mhm.
Got a nice move, to new highs basically, and is just sort of retracing that a little bit, but I basically want to see that trend line hold the support now, the one that was acting as resistance. Want to see that act as support. Friday, we got, that reversal sort of candle that we usually see at the bottom of a short-term downtrend. So we'll see if it can hold up this week and try to buy it off support. Zach is looking at MTH he said he'd like to see the earnings flag build out a little bit more, but he's looking to buy it through 114.
Clearly, this company is having no problems selling homes. Basically, taking near all-time highs. I'm sorry, what was he looking to buy it through?
114. So it just had
114.
earnings like 2 weeks ago. So like in his comment,
No,
he said he'd like to see that kind of
just
continue to base out a little bit.
yeah. This
But
is
yeah,
this I wouldn't be sneaking into. This I would just buy through this high. Like let this flag form. Again, this name looks amazing because it's gone up literally 100%
mhm.
since October. But let's look at like Baba for which is completely nowhere near the same sector, the same space, but very similar chart. Baba ran up 100% here, off lows. Honestly, about the same period of time. It was mid October when most names are based hitting those 52-week lows. Baba's up 100% right here. It looks phenomenal. Oh my God, it's going to break 120. It's going to break 125. It's going back to highs. And now it's retraced, it's 20% off that high. So with this MTH, looks phenomenal, but it's up 100%. It hasn't had any real significant shakeout. Sneaking in here at 114, you're not really sneaking in here. If you were sneaking in, through 80 or some of these spots, but this isn't worth sneaking in. Just let this develop and buy through this 120, which seems to be the much bigger trade anyways. And if this is going to pull back to 100, you're going to avoid that loss in the meantime because this 120 is going to definitely act as resistance anyways. So I would just wait for 120.
Yeah. And then the other one he's looking at is SANM. Sonoma Corporation through 64 in time.
Okay. Let's see. That was a nice breakout to this 43. You want to buy, I'm sorry, through 64?
64, yeah.
This is another one. I think you just wait for you put this on the back burner. You keep that alert set up here at like 68 and just buy this thing through 70. You can even see with this name,
If you zoom out a lot, yeah, it's
it's
actually,
like,
it's been basing since 2002. If you go and
oh,
look
if you
at a weekly
go
or a
really
monthly
out,
chart, yeah. It at some point was at 360, so I don't really know what happened there.
this had to be it. This is like dot-com bubble time.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So dot-com bubble probably has restructured and stuff since then, so it's not like completely hands off.
Hmm.
Still interesting, but yeah, I mean that 80 to 90 area seems a lot more interesting in time. But yeah, I mean this base is pretty significant.
Yeah, this is such old price action that I wouldn't worry about it too much, but I think more so for here, it's just like we can see with this name can consolidate and can flag for
Mm,
a very, very long time. This is, a half a decade base, but my point of this is just buying this through the high was such an easier trade than trying to mess with it within this area. Like you
mm,
bought 43, you get stopped out. And these are over years, but you just makes sense to buy it through the high than sneaking in. And I think with this name up here through 70 in 6 months or so, it's probably going to be a much easier trade than buying 63 or 64 versus 60. You're giving a $4 best case, you're going to get that run up to 70 anyways. So your best case is 2-1. And it doesn't seem worth the risk versus the real move you're going to probably get. When through 70, this thing probably goes to 100 in 3 to 6 months. And that'll probably be where you risk $5 up there and you might get 25.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So you mentioned that, some of that older data you don't really consider. So how far back do you tend to go?
I mean, this is just going like it's extremely unlikely that there's anyone that still owns this stock from 2000, from the dot-com bubble. It's very unlikely. So you're not going to really have, also the stock is probably never going to go to $300 ever again. So it's like, this is price action that you can also, even like you think of like GameStop and like the meme stocks, those names are never going to go back to 500 or whatever the price they went to. It was just in that moment of time that, those price points were relevant. But this is never going to be, a $300 stock again.
I don't know. Some bag holders might be disagreeing with you there, Bennett.
Yeah, they're going to be the ones holding it down. But again, that the person who was buying that stock in 2000, again, they're
right,
probably close to retirement or middle age at this point. They've sold the stock. If they still had it, they're going to be selling it. But this is just so far back, decades ago, that even financial crisis is a long time ago. Going back to .com is, it's just such a long period of time that I also would not think that this is, again, don't expect that this is going to become a $300 stock because it was during the height of the tech bubble. And this obviously is a tech theme.
I gotcha. Well, that's pretty much everything in the chat. One last one that I'm keeping an eye on is this Home Depot that is back in this range that we've been messing around with for a couple months now. That range between 320 and 310. So I'd love to kind of see this that support you have marked out. I'd like to see that hold, or even kind of see a little bit of a shakeout there, and then look for a buyback to take that back up towards that 340 area.
Yeah, there's earnings in like a week.
Yeah,
just
8 days.
Yeah, keep that in mind
for sure.
All right, guys. So again, the market's opening in a couple minutes. 2 things. We do have the hoodies. They're being shipped to me this week. I'll be shipping them out. If you're not on the pre-order list, let myself or Heaven know what size you are so we can get you on that list. And lastly, tax time is going to be around the corner. We'll be doing a lot of 1099 prep, a lot of W-2 and partnership return preparation. So if you have any tax questions, this would be a great time to ask. When it's April 10th, there's not much we can do, or anyone for that matter. So the sooner you can start planning for it, makes your life often much easier. And that's what we're here to help for as well. So let's have a good week. Any questions or top ideas, make sure to post them in the chat. And that's all I got.
All right. See you later, guys.
All right, guys. See ya.